going on, everybody? You know, I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube. These were videos from TikTok. I don't really use TikTok, but they're an accumulation of videos from TikTok that were posted on YouTube. A bunch of different channels do this, and it's about mass layoffs and Gen Z, even some millennials and Gen X, older folks as well, going on TikTok and expressing their anger, fear, and resentment, what have you, towards being let go. Some of them are recording the HR meeting, right? The meeting that is happening in regards to being let go. What the heck is it? Oh, okay, I see. And some of them are showing those videos of them being let go live. Some of them are talking about how they're feeling after being let go, discussing the feeling of being unemployed. And you know, I get it. When I was young, it hurt, right? I didn't really know my calling. It isn't until now I'm 35 where I figured out my calling. And I have no calling. That's my calling. My calling is, I'm on this planet. I was born. It wasn't by choice, but it was by design. And I'm here. And the universe brought me here. Is there a reason? I don't know. That's for the universe. If the universe has to use me to some sort of an advantage or some sort of a use for me, has some sort of use for me, then by all means, maybe the universe itself knows and I'm at its mercy, right? At its command, the command of the universe. But if I'm just here because of some random algorithm, or it's all a coincidence, then I'm here because of a random algorithm or because of a coincidence. That's my calling. So one of the philosophies I believe in, right, and I live by now, I've always lived by it, just couldn't really pinpoint it, and I kind of want to express that in this video. I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter. But some of these are just like, you know, I don't want to say one-on-ones, but they're more like me kind of seeing what's happening in mass and expressing my opinion and advice and a shoulder to those folks who are being let go, especially when you're young. You gotta understand that the system, the way it's set up, is a game, right? It's a game. It has been a game for a while, even before like 2008, but especially after 2008, after the Great Recession. If you're 35 like me, or a little older, you knew about it. You've maybe even felt some of it, or you were getting your education at the time. Or if you're younger, maybe you saw your parents go through it, or 2008, 2018, 20. I mean, yeah, like you were just so young, you don't even know what was going on, right? Probably at that point. So you're going through these. You're probably in one of these categories. So anybody that has been through it and knows about it knows that all things went to shit after that Great Recession, right? Employee engagement, employer-employee relationships were affected. Loyalty wasn't affected. Employers changed the system after that, so that either it was in direct correlation, like meaning as a conclusion to the Great Recession, maybe they based the new system off of that or what have you. But things changed after that. We lost a lot of pensions at that time, and they never came back. If anything, all other companies who had these pension programs got rid of theirs. We heavily implemented 401ks, which are, I don't like them. I have my own private investments, that I put money into, but I do not link my healthcare and my investments with a company. No 401k through a company, no healthcare through company for me. Granted, I'm a little bit privileged in that regard because I have the VA, but even if that wasn't the case, I'd find other ways around. I would go to another country to get healthcare before I, paid all this crazy amount of money into this healthcare system, the shit healthcare system, right? Shit. It's shit. Yeah, but for all you folks, man, getting laid off, take a breath. It's not the end of the world. It's happening in mass, so you're not alone. A lot of people are going through it, and because a lot of people are going through it, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but hey, you're not alone. You're not going through it yourself. And if enough people go through it, know that the way the system is set up, when we're a consumer-based economy and so pro-capitalist, where 80-90% of our economy is run on just junk merchandise and whatnot. The government, if they want to keep the government and the corporations, they want to keep this system going as is, and they want to keep them making their money. We can't allow mass unemployment. It just can't happen, right? They're gonna have to at some point. They're gonna cave. I know Donald Trump is implementing these things that I talked about in my other video, but with the one big beautiful bill, one was there are things that are contradicting each other, meaning the sense of like. He's trying to make it so that states lose the power to add more into social net programs like SNAP. They can't make the call themselves, right? During economic hardships, like the 2008 recession, for example, something like that were to happen again, and the one big beautiful bill is passed as it stands now, then states are not going to be able to provide their people with more safety nets and all these different programs, because the one big beautiful bill is getting rid of that, right? For states to be able to like make that call, right? So taking away power from states and giving it to the federal government is definitely part of this program, and he's already showing that he's down for that, because look at what happened in the LA protests, right? Completely went over Newsom, Governor Newsom, and sent in the National Guard and the Marines, because the law that was being affected was a federal law, so he could do that, right? Yeah, we know, we see where he's going. He wants to make it again, that is an oligarchy, and that is why the whole No Kings movement happened, right? It's a power under one king. We are the United States of America, right? So yeah, anyway, that's another different conversation. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole. There's so many things to talk about, man. You can see that even I get flustered so much talking about this stuff, because like the mind goes all over the place with how things are going and which way they're going. But if you're being let go from a job, don't let it stress you out too much, man. Like, obviously, be prepared for it. If right now is not the time to be like, oh, it won't happen to me because I'm so valuable. Nobody's valuable in this economy. Nobody's been valuable in this economy, especially after 2008, and then after 2020, even worse. They took whatever happened after 2008 and just like ran with it even further, right? So even the way they're being let go, a lot of these videos like, I'll have a random HR meeting that popped up out of nowhere, or the way I was let go, my company it was a meeting. I already knew I was being let go, but the meeting that they set up was supposed to be a completely different meeting, and then like about some work related thing, and then the HR popped into that meeting, and then it all happened within like 5 minutes, and they went over my rights and all that stuff, right? But whatever, I did it with a smile on my face. Okay, thank you. I don't want to burn bridges. At the same time, I knew it was coming, and I'm always, any job I take, I always know that there's a 50% chance that I'll be let go, probably, if not now, at some point, right? So that's kind of like how we need to understand. We got to prepare, man. So when you have a job, if it's a high-paying job, great. Save your money, invest your money, put it all together. One thing that I'm doing now, I don't know why I'm doing this so late. I have collected a decent amount of money over the years, right? Working and whatnot, and saving. But I'm finally putting it into a high-yield savings account, an online high-yield savings account. Some of the good ones can get you about 4 to 4.5% max, right? a month in interest. So there are different ways to invest your money than just pop. Yeah, you should be putting money into your retirement. And if you have some money in stocks, sure. I don't personally like stocks. I'm not a fan of them. They become too volatile after the Great Recession, but then especially after 2020, right? When we were having like, hold the line and all that. When I call it like the Reddit stock age or whatever. So the volatility of that, and it's not even worth it for the regular person to put their money into stocks, because I feel like most high yielding stocks and the most big portfolios in stocks are held by the big people, right? It's again 90% of the population holds. Sorry, 1 to 10% of the population holds the 80 to 90% of the wealth, and then the rest of the 10 to maybe 15% or less, the rest 90% of us are fighting over. So it's the same concept with stocks. So I'm gonna see how this high yield savings account process works. You should be able to get me some good interest back. I can accumulate it over the year. I can take the interest out every month and use that as supplemental income. Or there's CDs again. You can yield more maybe, but I tried a CD once and it didn't really yield much for me in the earlier this year. So, and then you can't even touch your money, right? So that's another thing too. If I need to use it for supplemental income, that's another thing. So, yeah, man. Any job you take, any job you're in right now, you are expendable. You are just a means to an end. Go with that in mind, so you're not hurt later, right? You should be in this job with that in your mind, so that you're prepared mentally. Physically, obviously, is a big one too. Taking care of your physical health, your mental health, you're mentally prepared, and financially too. So that's what I'm saying. Look at your budget. If you got an extra $20,000 this year, pretend like you're still living with, like, let's say if you were making 60, now you're making 80, still live like you were living off 60. And if you were living off of 60 paycheck to paycheck, then you got to bring that down to pretend like you're living off of 40 or 30,000, right? That's the way of the game for the average person. I hate to say it. That's the way of the game for the average person. You do that, I guarantee you lose your job, you're going to do it with a smile on your face like I did, right? Take advantage of the programs and stuff that are still out there. Research, use AI to research things. Create a budget off ChatGPT. I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more now, but I was just using I wasn't using any crazy apps or anything. I would just put it into my notepad on my cell phone. It comes with like the Samsung notepad thingy. I would just put it into there. But there are apps and stuff that you can use as well. Cut down on subscriptions that you don't need. Stop eating out often. Limit it to max once a week, maybe, and even then, don't go crazy. Maybe once a month out of that once a week should be like a nice steak and lobster dinner or something like that. Sure, treat yourself. Don't lose out on all that stuff too, but keep a lid on it. So, yeah, guys. Please feel free to comment or whatnot. I have to find a way to get you guys to message me as well if you need any sort of pointers from just an average guy, again, that's just trying, making it happen on the road to a semi-retirement. And then hopefully, I'm 35 now. My goal is to retire by 50. So, follow me on this journey, and I want to make sure that you guys are also, especially if you're younger, you can probably do what I'm trying to do. Because I started taking this stuff seriously by the time I hit 30, right? If you're younger, you can start hitting this now, because don't forget, 40, 50 is right around the corner. It comes fast. And when it comes, you want to be prepared. So if you're younger, you can take what I'm doing now and triple it pretty much, right? So stay tuned, guys.